Have you ever had a moment where you felt like you were doing everything right? Fulfilling your duties, keeping your promises, holding yourself together, yet deep inside, there's still this quiet sense of disappointment. As if the world only sees you when you break, but never when you endure. If that sounds familiar, then this message wasn't written for everyone, it was written for you. Because the truth is, some of the most grounded, impactful, and magnetic men are the ones who chose to live alone. Not because they were running away, but because they realized their energy was too valuable to waste on noise. And so they began a deeper journey, one of rebuilding from within. If you're one of those men who walked away, not from responsibility, but from environments that drained you, then these words are here to remind you of who you are, or rather, who you were always capable of becoming. In this message, we'll take a journey together to understand how solitude rewires the mind and why people feel your presence without needing an explanation. You'll come to see that solitude isn't emptiness. It's a strategic space, a sacred environment where true masculinity, emotional balance, and silent leadership are forged. This is not an escape into loneliness. This is a return to your depth, and if you see yourself in these words, share your path. Tell us where you're reading from, or what solitude has taught you. Because this isn't just a message. It's a gathering place for men who refine themselves away from the spotlight. Let's return to that quiet man, the one who doesn't explain, doesn't shout, yet somehow commands every room he walks into, not because he needs to be seen, but because at last he sees himself. And that alone changes everything. At a certain point in every man's life, appearances stop fooling him. The titles, the praise, even the success, none of it truly feels like his. Because deep down, he knows he spent his life trying to please everyone else. You said yes when you wanted to say no. You stayed silent to keep the peace. You carried burdens that were never yours to begin with, and little by little, you forgot who you were before the world started assigning you a role. That's why living alone isn't an escape, it's a reset. When you choose solitude, you're not running away from the world, you're searching for your real voice beneath all the noise. And in that silence, something powerful happens. You stop performing and you start living according to your true values, not your fears. When you live around others, your nervous system stays on high alert. Did I upset them? Did I disappoint them? Should I explain myself? But when you're alone, that noise begins to quiet down. The layers of anxiety start to fade, and your brain, specifically the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for focus and decision-making, finally gets the space it needs. You stop reacting out of instinct and begin rebuilding yourself with conscious intention. That's when the brain shifts into what's called the default mode network. The state linked to deep reflection, creativity, and insight. It's the same mental space that great artists and thinkers enter when they step away from distraction. When you stop explaining yourself, your energy begins to stabilize. Every justification, every attempt to be understood, it used to drain you. But in silence, you start gathering your strength again. And something inside you shifts. Your energy becomes more grounded. Your signals are invisible yet undeniable. People don't know why they're drawn to you, but they feel something real. That kind of presence can't be faked. It's the result of inner alignment, a quiet confidence that isn't built in chaos, but in solitude. Men are often taught how to control their actions, but rarely how to regulate their emotions. So we suppress, we laugh things off, we bottle it up, and eventually we explode. But in solitude, there's no one to distract you, no one to calm you down. You're forced to face yourself, and that's where real strength begins to form. Not toughness, but a kind of inner solidity that doesn't shake. You learn how to feel without being ruled by what you feel. You learn to be angry without breaking, to be sad without collapsing. This is emotional sovereignty. And solitude is the training ground. You train yourself to stay balanced. You don't need external support to stay standing. You grow roots within. The world often mocks the man who chooses to be alone, labels him as cold or depressed. But what it doesn't understand is that this man isn't running away, he's preparing. Solitude is not retreat. It's a strategic choice. In it, a man rebuilds his standards, sharpens his decisions, and frees himself from the need for approval. When you no longer seek to please anyone, you begin making real decisions. You become dangerous not because you threaten others, but because you refuse to be controlled. There comes a moment when everything inside you goes silent. You're no longer trying to prove yourself. You're not asking for anything. You're simply in tune with who you are. That moment changes everything. Because when you stop chasing love, you start broadcasting a frequency that only attracts what truly belongs. People won't know why they're drawn to you. You're not doing anything extraordinary, but they feel something real. They feel trust, balance, as if finally they found someone they can rely on. That kind of presence isn't built in the noise. It's built in quiet nights, in decisions made without advice, in the pain you faced alone, in the tears no one ever saw. So keep going. Don't rush to escape this season. Don't chase to be seen. Just stay still and let the world recalibrate to your new frequency. If you're on this journey, share it. What has solitude taught you that nothing else could? Because when you stop chasing, everything begins to reveal itself. And when your energy finally says, I am enough, the world listens. Some men build their strength in gyms, others in boardrooms, but the rarest kind build it in silence, in the shadows, without an audience. And if you're one of them or becoming one, know this: you are not invisible. You're in the process of becoming undeniable. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs men who face themselves in the mirror, who built their balance without applause, who no longer wait for recognition because they've already recognized themselves. This is the true meaning of quiet masculinity. Not cold, not distant, but deep, precise, unshakable. You may never get the applause you deserve, but you're building a presence that no one can ignore. A presence people feel before you ever speak. So stand tall, keep going. Don't dim your energy to fit the room. Let your presence set the tone. And if this message found you, let us know in the comments, where are you on your journey? This isn't just a script, it's a reminder that the man who works on himself in silence ends up owning everything.